Okay, fine. In the previous session, we have used map shape. So what is the purpose of this map shape? So in order to transform or convert one particular file format into the another file format, we have used the map shape. So why I have used this map shape here? So here, with the help of start shape of disconnector, I am able to read the data and I am able to fetch the CSV or flat file data into the Boomi here. So once after fetching the data into the Boomi, now I need to convert that data into the XML file format. In order to convert the data into the XML file format, here I have used the map shape. So here, once after converting the data into the XML file format, again I am writing the same XML data into some other target folder. So because of that reason, in the set property shape here, I have modified the file name as .xml. Now, guys, please mute yourself. Now, okay, I am going to execute the process once again. I'll test the process. Now I'm going to click on this disconnector. I'll click on the shape source data. If I open this first document over, here I'll be able to see the first record 101 getting converted into the XML file. Now I'm going to open the second document over. Here I'll be able to see the record 102 is getting into the XML file. But now here in the input file, I'm having two records. Okay, I'm having two records. Now, whenever I'm sending two records into the process, it is going to generate two different XML files. Now, suppose if I'm having 100 records here, suppose if I'm having 100 records here, at that point of time, it is going to generate 100 different XML files here. Now, my requirement is that I need to consolidate into a single XML file. Okay, so ఇక్కడ మీకు టూ రికార్డ్స్ ఉంటే టూ డిఫరెంట్ XML ఫైల్స్ జనరేట్ అయ్యింది. ఇప్పుడు నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటి అంటే మీ యొక్క ఇన్పుట్ ఫైల్లో 2 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నా 10 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నా 500 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నా కానీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు జనరేట్ సింగిల్ కన్సాలిడేటెడ్ XML ఫైల్. సో ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు జనరేట్ సింగిల్ కన్సాలిడేటెడ్ XML ఫైల్, నౌ హియర్ I need to enhance this process further. How means I am going to click on this map shape. Now I am going to remove the mappings here. I am going to remove the mappings. Once after removing the mappings, I will come to the target side and I will click on this XML profile here. Now I'll come to the orders. Once after coming to the orders, here you are going to see the option minimum occurs 1 and max occurs 1. What is the meaning of minimum occurrence 1? Minimum occurrence 1 in the sense at the time of execution, okay, at the time of execution, whenever the control goes to the input file, okay, at the time of execution, whenever the control goes to the input file, it is mandatory that to have minimum 1 file. అంటే మనకు ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ జరిగేటప్పుడు కంట్రోల్ అనేది ఇన్పుట్ ఫైల్ లోకి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత ఇన్పుట్ లో మినిమం 1 రికార్డ్ అనేది ఉండాలి. అంటే ఇన్పుట్ ఫైల్ లో మినిమం 1 రికార్డ్ ఉండాలి. దట్ ఈస్ మ్యాండేటరీ. మినిమం అకరెన్స్ 1 అండ్ మ్యాక్స్ అకర్స్ 1. మ్యాక్స్ అకర్స్ 1 ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ వెనెవర్ we are going to convert this data into the XML file format. మనం ఎప్పుడైతే సరే ఈ డేటాని XML ఫైల్ లోకి కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తామో at that point of time, at max it is going to pick up only one record at a time. Okay, maximum ఒక రికార్డు పికప్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. అంటే మ్యాక్స్ అకర్స్ 1 ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ అట్ మ్యాక్స్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు పికప్ ఓన్లీ 1 రికార్డ్ ఎట్ ఎ టైం. అంటే at the time of execution the loop is going to run, okay, and the loop is going to pick up only one record and that particular record will get converted into the XML file, and again the loop will run second time and the respective record will get converted into the XML file. అంటే ఇక్కడ సపోజ్ నాకు 10 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి. Okay, suppose if I am having 10 records here, the loop will run 10 times here. Okay, suppose if I am having 10 records here, the loop will run 10 times and it is going to generate 10 different XML files. Okay, so at max occurs 1 in the sense at max it is going to pick up one record at a time and it is going to generate and the loop is going to run total number of records. అంటే ఇక్కడ 2 రికార్డ్స్ ఉంటే లూప్ అనేది 2 టైమ్స్ రన్ అవుతుంది. సో 2 డిఫరెంట్ XML ఫైల్స్ జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది. 10 రికార్డ్స్ ఉంటే లూప్ 10 టైమ్స్ రన్ అవుతుంది. 10 డిఫరెంట్ XML ఫైల్స్ జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది. Now here in the place of max occurs, if I select unbounded, okay, in the place of max occurs, if I select unbounded, it means that the loop will wait till all the records have been picked up here. Suppose ఇక్కడ మీకు 100 records ఉంటే the loop will wait till all the 100 records have been picked up and all those 100 records are going to get converted into the XML file. అంటే ఇక్కడ మనకు 100 records ఉంటే అన్ని 100 records XML file లో కన్వర్ట్ అయ్యే వరకు the loop will wait అన్నమాట. Now here I am going to select max occurs as unbounded. I am going to save this one. Once after saving, here I am having multiple orders data. Okay, here I am having multiple orders data. Whenever you are having multiple orders data, so here each and every order will have separate order details. మనకు suppose Flipkart లో 3 products order పెట్టాం అనుకోండి, ప్రతి ఒక్క ప్రోడక్ట్ కి separate order details ఉంటుంది. Suppose if I am having multiple orders, each and every order will have separate order details. So because of that reason, here I am going to introduce one more element. I will select add child element, and in the place of element here I am going to name this as order details. Okay, I will name this as order details, and here minimum occurrence as 1 and max occurrence as unbounded, and then I am going to save this one. Once after saving, here I am having multiple orders, and each and every multiple order will have separate order details. Under order details, I am going to have respect to order ID, product and price. Now I am going to drag order ID. See here, keep the cursor on the respect to order ID and drag and drop once you see the plus button. Now in the similar way, you drag the product and drop once you see the plus button. And now you select price and you drop once you see the plus button. Now you are having multiple orders. Each and every order will have separate order details. Under order details, you are going to see order ID, product and price. Okay, like this you need to configure. I'll save this one, save and close. Now here I am going to do the mapping. Okay, I am going to keep the cursor here and I am going to map order ID to the order ID, product to the product and price to the price. Okay, I'll save this one. Okay, I'll save this one. Once after saving, save and close, I'll save this one. Now I am going to test the process. I'll click on it. Now, if I click on this disconnector, if I click on this shape source data, if I open this document viewer, here I'll be able to see the respective data getting consolidated into the single XML file. See here, I'm able to see both the records getting converted into the single consolidated XML file. Now, I am going to add 2 more records into the input file. Now here, I am going to add 2 more records. Here I will take 103, and in the place of laptop, I will take a shirt, and here I will take the price as a 3000. And here I am going to take another order ID as 104, and here I will take the product as shoes, and here price will be 5000. I will save the input file. I will save the input file. I will save this one. Now I am going to test the process. Now once after testing, I have not touched anything in the process. Just I have modified the input file. So as per the configuration settings I have done here, so based on that, it should generate single consolidated XML file, converting all the 4 records here into single XML file. Now I am going to click on this disconnector. I will click on the shape source data. If I open this document viewer, here I'll be able to see the respective 4 records getting converted into the XML file here. 101, 102, 103 and 104. Okay, all the 4 have been converted into the XML data. Okay. Now I am having one more requirement. My requirement is that now in the previous session, okay, in the previous session, my process was like this. Initially, first I am able to read the data from the local directory. First నేను ఏం చేశాను, నా local directory లో ఉన్నటువంటి డేటాను రీడ్ చేశాను. Then I am able to send the same data into some other target folder. Okay, that is my first task. Okay, ఇప్పుడు ఈ స్టార్ట్ షేప్ ఆఫ్ డిస్కనెక్టర్ ద్వారా డేటాను రీడ్ చేశాను, సేమ్ అదే డేటాని టార్గెట్ ఫోల్డర్ లో ప్లేస్ చేశాను. Now in yesterday's session, I have connected like this, and I am converting the data into the XML file, and I am going to send the XML data into some other target folder. This is the requirement which I have done yesterday. Now today, my requirement is that I need to perform both operations. Okay, I need to perform both operations here. Okay, I need to perform both operations in the single process here. So how to perform? So first I am having start shape of disconnector. So this disconnector is capable enough to read the data, and it is capable enough to fetch the data. Okay. Once after reading and once after fetching the data into the Boomi, okay, now I need to send the data into some other target folder. That is my first task. And then I need to convert the data into the XML file format, and then I need to send the data into the some other target folder. Now, in day before yesterday session, the process was like this. Reading the data from the local directory and sending the same data into some other target folder. And in yesterday's session, reading the data and converting the data into the XML file and sending the data into some other target folder. Now here, I am having single input. I need to perform two operations at a time. So whenever you are having one input, and if you want to perform two operations at a time, now here we are going to use one more shape called as branch shape. Okay, now here we are going to use one more shape called as branch shape. Now here I am going to take two branches. Okay, now here I am going to take two branches. Okay. Now here at max you can create 25 branches. And what is the purpose of this branch shape? Branch shape is helpful for me to create the copy of the documents. Okay, branch shape is helpful for me to create the copy of the documents. It means that we can create multiple copies. Now here I have chosen two branches. Okay, at max I can create 25 branches. Here I have chosen two branches here. I'll click on it. Now this branch shape is helpful for me to create the copy of the document. Creating the copy of the document in the sense, now if I use the stop shape here, now it is going to generate one copy. And if I am going to copy paste here, and it is going to generate another copy here. Okay, now here I am having first copy and here I am having second copy. Now if I save this one, now the start shape of disconnector is going to read the data and it is going to fetch the data, and I am going to send the data into the branch shape, and this branch shape is going to generate two copies of the data. First copy will be entered into the first branch and second copy will be entered into the second branch. I'll save this one. Now I will test this process. I'll click on it. Now see here, I am going to click on this first branch. I'll click on this shape source data. If I open this document viewer, here I'll be able to see the first copy of the CSV or flat file. The same copy entered into the second branch. If I open this document viewer, here also I'll be able to see the CSV or flat file. Okay. Now I need to perform two operations. So previously, whenever I connected like this, the start shape of disconnector is going to read the data and it is going to send the data into some other target folder. Okay. Now I am going to copy these three elements here. So whenever you want to copy the elements here, you just keep the cursor and you drag like this. Okay. Keep the cursor and drag like this. Now here you are going to see three objects. I am going to copy all those objects and I am going to paste it here. Once after pasting, and I am going to connect all these three into the second branch. Now I am going to connect the first branch here and I will connect like this. Okay, I will connect like this. Okay, I will connect like this. Now the start shape of disconnector is going to send the CSV or flat file data into the branch shape. Okay, this branch shape is going to generate two copies of the data. First copy will be entered into the first branch, and here the data will get converted into the XML file, and the same data will be entered into the target folder. Okay, the same data will be entered into the target folder. Now here this branch shape is going to send a second copy here. Okay, this what is the type of data I am getting into the branch shape? This branch shape is going to receive CSV or flat file data. So the same CSV or flat file data will be entering into the set property shape. Now here in the set property shape, I am going to modify the file name. Why? Because here I am getting the CSV or flat file data. So because of that reason, here in the file name, I am going to specify the file name as .csv. I am going to specify the file name as .csv. Okay, I am going to click on it. Now, this branch shape is going to get CSV or flat file data. The first copy of the data will be entered into the first branch, and this first branch is going to convert the data into the XML file format, and the same data will be moved into some other target folder. Now, here the branch shape is going to send the second copy as CSV or flat file. The same CSV or flat file will be entered into the second branch. I am going to save this one. Now, I will test this process. Now see here, if I click on the first branch, if I click on the shape source data, if I open this document viewer, here I'll be able to see the respective data converting into the XML file. Now if I click on the second disconnector, if I click on this document viewer, if I open this document, here I'll be able to see the data in the form of CSV or flat file. So first branch is getting converted to the XML file, and second branch is getting converted into the CSV or flat file. Okay. Now my requirement is that I need to convert into the CSV or flat file, and I need to convert the data into the XML file. I need to send into first branch, and I need to send the same file into the second branch. Okay. By seeing this option, okay, by seeing this process, what you are going to understand, you may feel that, or you may assume that this branch shape is going to execute parallelly at a time. Okay, you may feel that this branch shape is going to execute both the branches at a time. మీరు ఈ ప్రాసెస్ చూసిన వెంటనే బ్రాంచ్ షేప్ అనేది మీకు ఏమనిపిస్తుంది, బోత్ బ్రాంచెస్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు గెట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్ ప్యారలల్లీ ఆర్ అట్ ఏ టైం. అంటే బ్రాంచ్ షేప్ లోకి వచ్చినటువంటి డేటా టూ బ్రాంచెస్ లోకి అట్ ఏ టైం డేటా సెండ్ చేసిందని మీరు అనుకుంటున్నారు. బట్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇన్ ద బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ the execution is going to happen sequentially. Okay, the back end, the execution is going to happen sequentially. It means that, okay, the execution is going to happen sequentially. It means that first branch is going to get executed, then only the control comes to the second branch. Okay, so ikkada branch shape like data రావడం తోటే branch shape first data ని first branch like send చేస్తుంది. ఫస్ట్ బ్రాంచ్ అనేది సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయితేనే తర్వాత కంట్రోల్ అనేది సెకండ్ బ్రాంచ్ లేక వస్తుంది. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ రీజన్ ఫస్ట్ బ్రాంచ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఫెయిల్ అయిందంటే ది కంట్రోల్ నెవర్ కమ్స్ టు ద సెకండ్ బ్రాంచ్. వన్స్ అగైన్ ఐఎమ్ రిపీటింగ్ హియర్, branch shape is going to execute sequentially. Sequentially in the sense, first branch is going to get executed, then only the control comes to the second branch. Because of some reason, if the first branch execution fails, the control never comes to the second branch. Okay, ఇప్పుడు వరకు మీకు ఏం చెప్పాను, ఫస్ట్ డేటా అనేది ఫస్ట్ బ్రాంచ్ లెక్క వెళ్తుంది, ఫస్ట్ బ్రాంచ్ అనేది సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయితేనే కంట్రోల్ అనేది సెకండ్ బ్రాంచ్ లెక్క వస్తుంది అని చెప్పాను. ఓకే, మామూలుగా మీ జనరల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ప్రకారం ఏంటి, మీరేమనుకుంటున్నారు, బోత్ బ్రాంచెస్ లకి డేటా అట్ ఎ టైం సెండ్ చేస్తుంది, బోత్ బ్రాంచెస్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు గెట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్ ప్యారలల్లీ అనేసి మీరు అనుకుంటున్నారు. నౌ ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు షో యూ ఇన్ బెటర్ వే, హియర్ ఇన్ ద స్టాప్ షేప్ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు సీ ఎండ్ అండ్ కంటిన్యూ. Now if I click on the stop shape, if I uncheck this option, then here you are going to see end and return. End and return in the sense, whenever the control comes to the respective branch, ఎప్పుడైనా సరే కంట్రోల్ అనేది ఒక బ్రాంచ్ లేకి వచ్చిందంటే ఆ కంట్రోల్ అనేది ఆ పర్టికులర్ బ్రాంచ్ లోనే హోల్డ్ అవ్వాలి అని మీనింగ్ అన్న. whenever the control comes to any respective branch, the control has to hold back in that respective branch only. Now I'll save this one. Now I'll test the process. Now see here, second branch does not got executed. Okay, second branch does not got executed. Only first branch got executed. Why? Why means, as I have told you, first branch shape me thinking prakaram, me understanding prakaram, both branches at a time gonna execute ayyatattunte, irrespective of this option, both has to get executed at a time. But here, the branch shape is going to send the data first to the first branch. Okay, this branch shape is going to send the data first to the first branch. So because of that reason, the data entered into the first branch, and the data is holding back in the first branch itself. Because of that reason, the control never comes to the second branch here. Okay. Now, I am going to swap the branches here. Now, I will connect the first branch here and I will connect the second branch here. Now, I am going to check this one. Now, here, I am going to uncheck this one. I'll save this one. So, based on this situation, now the branch shape is going to get the data and the branch shape is going to send the data to the first branch here. Why? I have connected the number 1. This is the first branch I have connected here. So, because of that reason, the control comes to the first branch here. See here, this branch got executed. Okay, this branch never got executed. Okay, now this branch got executed, this branch does not got executed. Why? The branch shape is going to send the data to the first branch and because of that reason, this branch got executed. Okay, the control is holding back here itself. So finally, you need to understand that here branch shape is going to get executed sequentially. First branch executes successfully, then only the control comes to the second branch. If because of some reason, if the first branch execution fails, the control never comes to the second branch. Now here, I am going to connect the first branch always to the backup. Why? Because here branch shape is going to get the data. First, this branch shape is going to send the data into the original source file. It is sending into some other target folder. ఇక్కడ branch shape లోకి వచ్చేటటువంటి ఒరిజినల్ సోర్స్ ఫైల్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆ ఒరిజినల్ సోర్స్ ఫైల్ అనేది సమ్ అదర్ టార్గెట్ ఫోల్డర్ లైక్ సెండ్ చేస్తుంది. దెన్ ద కంట్రోల్ కమ్స్ టు ద సెకండ్ బ్రాంచ్, దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ ద డేటా ఇంటూ ద XML ఫైల్. సపోజ్ ఫస్ట్ బ్రాంచ్ ఇక్కడ ఉండి సెకండ్ బ్రాంచ్ ఇక్కడ ఉంది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు నా బ్రాంచ్ షేప్ ఫస్ట్ డేటా రైట్ అవే ఈ బ్రాంచ్ లోకి సెండ్ చేస్తుంది. ఈ బ్రాంచ్ లోకి నాకు డేటా వచ్చిందంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ రీజన్ ఆర్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ ఇష్యూ, ఇఫ్ దిస్ బ్రాంచ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఫెయిల్స్, ఏదైనా ఇష్యూ వల్ల ఈ బ్రాంచ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ అనేది ఫెయిల్ అయింది అనుకోండి, then the control never goes to the second branch. Okay, then the control never goes to the second branch. So because of that reason, the originality of the source file we are going to miss here. Okay, because of that reason, the originality of the source file we are going to miss here. In order to overcome that situation, it is always suggestable that to connect the first branch for the backup of the data and then you connect the remaining branches here. I'll save this one. Now I am going to test the process once again. So finally, now to conclude that at the time of interview, if anyone asks you, branch shape is helpful for me to create the copy of the document and at max I can create 25 branches and branch shape is going to execute sequentially. First branch executes successfully, then only the control comes to the second branch, and because of some reason, if the first branch execution fails, the control never comes to the second branch.